Let's get salty!
Everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video. And did Blizzard just hint at what could be maybe the next Hearthstone expansion, the next Battlegrounds drop? And well, when should we expect the next Hearthstone expansion announcement? As the mini set's out, the new Battleground stuff has been out for a while. We are usually at that time, and our friend Imik over on Twitter has done some sleuthing, so we're going to take a look and speculate on not only when the next expansion might be announced, but also what it may contain. And if you enjoy the content on the channel and you feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit that sub button down below. Give the video a like, it helps us out a ton. So basically Imik pointed this out yesterday, and I will link Imik's Twitter below, as we always do when we, the guy, he likes to sleuth. He looks at every little thing, and a lot of the times it ends up being nothing, but a lot of times it ends up being something. And yesterday, Play Hearthstone tweeted out, "Happy Father's Day. Share your favorite dad joke with your father figure." And again, belated Happy Father's Day to all the incredible dads out there, including my dad. Happy Father's Day, Dad. I did text him and talk to him and all of that, but still. They posted this with pictures of, is that Goru? I don't know, some treant dad. Of course, we got Bartender Bob. We've got like a ship's cannon type of thing. But the one that kind of caught people's eye was this one. What did the baby mech call its creator? We got like these mech frogs with data down here, but nobody could seem to find where this art came from. Like, this wasn't an asset used in Battlegrounds. To me, it looks like Battlegrounds, honestly. But it hasn't been used there, hasn't been used on Ladder, Mercenaries, at least not that anyone can tell. Mick did tweet out a new art got spotted. I believe I haven't seen it in the game. I tried to look for it, but I couldn't find any confirmation from anybody else that, you know, it came from anywhere. But basically, there's no way they commission art by Matt Dixon, who's a pretty prolific artist that works for Hearthstone every once in a while, for just one specific post coming out on a Sunday. Like, there is no chance of that. And well, Imik has been on the case lately, saying the upcoming expansion announcement is less than 2 weeks away from now. My guess is on Monday, the 26th of June, which would be next week. I gathered all the details of what might be coming, and basically it just goes into that, like, is this going to be themed and all of that, and basically goes through the time, like, my goodness, the sleuthing. This is what I normally do, but hey, when somebody else does the work, and Imik's still always okay with us sharing his work, we're going to share it. And he said, if you look at the last year's date and pattern of updates before the first expansion, you can see that this year it's exactly the same, except for maybe a day or two difference, of course, because each year the days are different, and basically showing 22.6, 22.4 on February 3rd, on March 17th, and we got March 14th and February 3rd, like, or, you know, it's all kind of leading up. And he says, again, this exact pattern matches the second expansion this year once again. So that was the first expansion. This is the second one, and we've got 23.6 on June 27th would be the pre-order date again, so that would be next Monday. But the 23.4.3 patch notes, which was the Warrior Massacre where they nerfed all the Warrior cards, this time the Paladin Massacre, but Paladin's doing just fine anyways, both landing like June 15th, June 16th. So Imik might be onto something for sure. The dates last couple of years absolutely lining up. But another key thing he noted is another thing why this is happening, that exact 100%, is that there is no July card back in the game. If you're not aware, they load the card backs into the game, and you know, the July season, you win 5 games to get a card back right at the beginning of the season. It's not in the game right now, which means there needs to be in the client before the beginning of the July season. There has to be a patch to load that in. It can't just be hidden. They can data mine all this stuff. Imik does that as well. Does all that stuff. So they can't ship the patch in the first week of July. So basically what he's saying is when the pre-order is loaded in for the next expansion announcement, it has to be in June. So pretty much it's got to be next week, the latest. So again, pretty telltale signs that it's coming. And we also have in the second expansion of the year, we should get a big wild update. We're waiting on that, which many believe or hope might also contain a new mode with rotating sets. I've heard wild only expansions, a big wild buffs to cards, all sorts of theories. We haven't heard anything since we got this phase 2 announcement, which they has wild. I will note that Cora, in that reveal video for the year of reveal, she did say there would be new and exciting ways to play your old wild cards, which seems to indicate that they're either updating the cards or, yeah, like a rotating format. So something's coming. We haven't heard a thing. We don't know if that announcement will come with the expansion. You'd think they want to separate that. So maybe they'll announce the expansion and then the wild thing, but then that would kind of conflict. So I don't know. The wild thing, who knows when they'll announce it, but they're going to have to try and find a way that they don't want the expansion to take the, you know, that news and all that. So we'll have to wait and see, but that is supposed to come with phase 2. Although Mercenaries at one point was supposed to launch with like a phase 1 and they got pushed back to 3. So you never know. It could get pushed back, but haven't heard anything like that. That's pure speculation. And he said, I'm honestly really hopeful and excited what they come up with. I really hope they'll start banning or no. They're not going to start banning or nerfing cards. What they'll do is make stuff more broken to make it more exciting. That's typically what they do. They've been I could see buffs, absolutely buffs happening, but basically say or nerfing some cards with broken interactions, potentially buff some old cards. That would be wicked. Like Dr. Boom, it's in the core set, useless. Do something with it, right? Like, it's just not that great. And it does say, including a wild focus update and a fun new way to play with the older cards. That's what Core had said as well. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what that changes could be. A long thread here where he goes out over like old Ixar AMAs where they like hinted at possible things. One thing that's really cool that Imik dug up was there was this AMA from 2020 with the old Hearthstone director Ixar, which again, we still don't have an official Hearthstone director. There may be one, but it hasn't been publicly announced. Where he said, happy to see the next teaser for the expansion. This was back in 2020, where Core responded to this question of, if you could choose any Warcraft setting or expansion theme you wanted, what would you pick? And Core responded with a murder mystery in her first ever expansion that she was the set lead for in 2022 was Murder Castle Nathria, a murder mystery. So she gave a spoiler years ahead of time. And yes, it was a spoiler. She even said here, not gonna lie, we do this expletive all the time and we just keep getting away with it. Y'all need to be better detectives like the famous Murloc Holmes. So is there gonna be like a feces based expansion coming up? Is that a hint that there's gonna be, oh wait, we already got that. It was called United in Stormwood. It was a pile of yeah, anyways, just kidding. It's kind of funny to see that came up. So yeah, Imik got this whole thread. There's so much in this thread. If you want to take a look, again, I'll link his Twitter and all of that. He goes over the, you know, we talked about this card back kind of being data mined, the Emerald Dreams card back. Are we going to get an Emerald Dreams based expansion? He even said, what do you guys think is happening or not? By the way, I get a vibe from this card. It's calling or maybe summoning the stars as the upcoming expansion because of that signed Eglon keyboard as well. He's going off the deep end, right? So I'd love to hear your guys' take on like maybe what the next expansion could be. If it's based, maybe it's a mech based expansion. Animal mechs. It's the Revenge of the Frog Mech animal expansion. That's very synonymous with Warcraft lore, right? So I think we're going to get an expansion announcement. I do agree with Imik. Probably the next week or so. I mean, we have to. And if you're wondering when the expansion would come out, it's usually like the first week of August or like the last week of July, something like that. We'll, of course, be reviewing all the cards, getting hyped and all that. But still, we're waiting on the wild announcement. We're waiting on a lot of stuff, which is why today we're speculating and having some fun with some mech frogs and all that. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Go give Imik a shout out, a follow, whatever. Always a good follow. And thanks for him for giving us some content to talk about. Anyways, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.